President Doe called me and said, listen, you have to do something for me. And I said, what is it? He said, you have to do all you can to convince those people to fix the computers so that the NDPL can get 51% in every constituency. This was the electronic scoreboard where you just put in your vote. As you put in your vote, it will record. But he wanted it to be done, the computers to be designed in a way that the NDPL will get 51% in every constituency. I said to him, well, it's impossible and very difficult for me as a private businessman to undertake such a project. But anyway, let me talk to the manufacturers of the machinery and see if they will be able to do that. And I talked to, the contract was being done by by Manning Control Systems in Sussex, England. Ivan Manning was my classmate in Switzerland. We did our graduate program together, and he did computer science, and he had opened a small computer company in Sussex. His father had opened that company for him, so I gave him the contract. And he said to me, when I mentioned it to him, he said, yes. I said, can it be done? He said, yes, it can be done. And I said, will you do it? He said, no, I wouldn't do it. I said, why? He said, well, because my father has invested his life savings to set up this insurance company for me, and I do not want to take any such chances. He said, because you would not have brought this business to me if the biggest computer company in England was still operating. The biggest computer company in England has been closed down by the British Board of Standards, even though they made $50 million, but they've been closed down. And I said, why? He said, because they did the same thing you are requesting me to do for the Shagari election in Nigeria. So they have been closed down by the British Board of Standards. So I'm not going to take that risk because it's not going to be a secret. So I called President Doe. I said, listen, my man, the people say they can't do this thing also. We have to work out something. He said, well, offer them money. And I said, well, money is not going to solve it. Then he said, but then cancel the contract. I said, if I cancel the contract, the government is not going to pay me any money, because the agreement in the contract and the letter of guarantee given to me by the central bank says that if I do not perform the contract, they are not going to pay me. And I've invested we have pre-financed the project to a certain extent. And so he said, well, cancel the he spoke, cancel the D contract and come back to Liberia. And I said, well, I'll see what I can do then. But I thought for about 2 days while I was in England. I was in my flat, and I thought for about 2 days. I said, well, there's no way I called Ivan Manny and I said, listen, Manny, if I cancel this contract, what am I going to lose? He said, if you cancel the contract and I buy all the software and the hardware, I don't need the software, but if I buy the hardware and everything from you, you're going to lose about $140,000. And I said, well, I'm not going to lose that kind of money because somebody wants me to do something dubious. So I called Samuel Doe that night and I said to him, listen, the guys say they're going to do it, but you have to pay $150,000. And he said, all right, come for the money. And so I left in June and came back to Liberia on British Airways, and I went to the executive mansion. When I got to the mansion, he gave me a briefcase. When I opened the briefcase, he had $150,000 in the briefcase. And so I said, but why don't you use this money to campaign in Liberia as a small electorate and see if you can win the elections? He said, no, these people are up to something here. These politicians are here up to something, and it won't work that way.